My dad gave me this hiking stick 8 years ago for Christmas. Unfortunately, since then, I've not had many opportunities to use it. When I was little, hiking was a part of my life. We would travel to the Great Smoky Mountains on vacation, so hiking was just something that we did every year, whether I liked it or not. I particularly did not like it. I thought it was hot and sweaty in the summertime. I thought it was cold and freezing in the wintertime. No matter which way I looked at it, it was something that was miserable to do. The more that we did it, however, the more I became familiar with being on the trail, and the less likely I was to whine and ask questions like, is this supposed to be fun? Hiking has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and picking out trail names, giving the dog a trail name, and picking out the perfect hiking stick, all those are memories that I will have forever and ever. When I was a kid, this hiking stick represented being accepted into the cool group, being accepted by my brothers and my dad. Currently, since I don't have the opportunity to hike very often, it better symbolizes strength and support to get me through my difficult days, my tough days, busy days, stressful days, what have you. In the future, it represents more of an inspiration to let me know that I can conquer my aspirations and endeavors in life, one of which happens to be to section hike the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine, one section at a time. Being the only girl of 3 kids, I was always striving to be one of the guys, to be accepted by my brothers and my dad. My mom was great too, but she was girly, and I thought I would never fit in if I was into girly stuff. So I used to whine and fuss every time my dad and my brothers were planning a hiking trip that did not involve me. I knew my brothers didn't want me going. They didn't want to listen to me whine the whole time. They didn't want to be responsible for my safety, on the difficult trails that they were going to be hiking. Maybe they felt like they were going to have to hike a lesser trail just because I was going. Whatever the case was, I ended up going, and sure enough, I ended up whining and crying the entire time we were there. My dad one day told me a story about how hiking is not supposed to be hard work. It's supposed to be a fun thing. It's supposed to be a way to escape from society and the pressures of work and housework and schoolwork and homework, and how giving yourself a trail name is a way to disassociate yourself from the real world, temporarily as it may be. It was at that moment when I decided it was time for me to have a trail name. My brothers appropriately dubbed me Munchkin as I was 5 years old, and it was cute, and I thought it was cool because I thought it was their way of accepting me into their little group. But my next mission was to find the perfect hiking stick. Being 5 years old, I was picking up everything: dead tree branches, logs covered in termites, what have you. But my brother John picked out the perfect stick for me. It was strong, it was sturdy, and it was just my size. The more I used my hiking stick, the more I realized that it was not just an ordinary stick. It was more of a support system for me to make it up the trail, to make it up the steep mountain during the times when I felt like I was tired, when I felt like I wanted to be whiny and, ask how much further, is this supposed to be fun, and things like that. I would dig my stick into the dirt, I would put one foot in front of the other, and I would keep on trucking to the finish. Now that my life is super busy, I live in Louisiana, there's no mountains in Louisiana. My husband's 20-year Army career is coming to an end. We have a 1-year-old, we have a 3-year-old, and I'm taking college courses. Going hiking is just not something that's feasible. My hiking stick sits up against the wall behind the front door, and I mainly look at it to help me get through my tough days. I looked to it when my husband deployed to Afghanistan. I looked to it when I got the phone call that said he had been blown up, shot, thrown from a vehicle, burned, and what have you. But it stands as a reminder that there are people out there that are willing to be supportive of me during my tough times. It also reminds me that I need to be supportive of other people during their times of need, tough times, stressful times, whatever. But my husband suffers from severe PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. And there have been many days where I have had to be his stick to lean on to help him get through his dark days and get through his uphill battle. But looking back at all the photo albums from hiking trips from when I was a kid and stuff, I never looked like I was having a bad time. I never looked like I was miserable. I was smiling in every picture. And even to this day, when I go back to Georgia, my brothers and I plan a hiking trip, and we always take our sticks. We even make it a point to find new sticks to bring home with us, not necessarily to replace these, but just to give out. They're, it's a fun little gift to give out to people. My 3-year-old actually has his own hiking stick that he just thinks is the coolest thing in the world. But I can't wait to, move back home and get him on the trail, get him a trail name picked out and all that kind of stuff. But I've come to appreciate the joy and the strength that this stick has brought to my life, and I look forward to helping my children pick out sticks and trail names of their own. I hope to make memories with my family, just as my dad did with his family, and realizing that this hiking stick is more than just an ordinary stick has helped me appreciate that strength and support are necessities in everyone's life. When you're feeling tired, when you're feeling whiny, you just dig your heels into the dirt, you put one foot in front of the other, and you keep trucking to the finish line. Being away from the mountains, I have come to realize that whenever I go back to the mountains, this stick will always double as my strength and support. One of the books that I read had a quote from a through hiker. He was hiking, from Georgia to Maine. His trail name was Billy Bumblefoot, and one of his quotes was, "It ain't about the miles, it's all about the smiles." And I think that is truth, whether you're on the trail or whether you're trying to make it through everyday life. We don't always choose the easiest path, but we need to learn to focus on our path's good times and memories of the smiles that we encounter and even create along the way. Thank you.